How you doing?
My door.
Good. What you up to? I was gonna mention to you about that Mother's Day thing.
Oh yeah, tell me.
You know what?
I
Okay,
don't do
so
a lot of stuff. I'm just so because I have kids and all that, so I let them make the little crafts and stuff. That I'm not really into any of the holidays anymore.
okay.
I take it because I'm not around family, so I don't do all the traditional things I did when I was back there. But Christmas, all that.
Right. The world population is like 8 billion people, right? A quarter of that population, so if you chop it into 4 pieces, a quarter of it is Christianity. That's the highest rate of religion. All kind of different ones, right? So from what I've seen, when they start want to learn about God, which they think Jesus is God, the Father, they think He's the Father and the Son.
Right.
But most
that's another thing because I don't know. I don't want to interrupt you, but my thought is like I see Christians praise Jesus more than you do God. God said, don't put no God before me. So if you're honoring Jesus, then what does that say? Then they want to say, well, He's the Trinity. He's this, He's that.
Right.
Like, no.
And that's Greek theology. Yep, the Father. Yep. And really, it was this doctrine called the ineffable doctrine, where they were like some Jewish people. They were like, His name is too holy to mention, so they took His name, the Father's name, out. So He was in there over 6,000 times. And he always be like, profess my name, tell my name, declare my name. But we call him a title, right? I could think this doorknob is a God. You know what I mean? And then Lord in Hebrew, that's it's this idol called Baal. Baal, yeah. And so we call them either God or Lord, right? People that were not in covenant with the Most High, the church fathers of Christianity, started from Rome.
And that's very messed up right there.
Okay, right.
They
don't even know him. It's like a foster child telling you about your parents.
That's your parents,
you know?
Exactly. Then you say, well, I want to be one of y'all.
So the Father says, no gods before me. It's like the first commandment, really. When we care to look into the truth. So as I was saying, Christianity starts in the second half of the Bible. So if I meet you halfway in your life, I don't really know your roots, you know? So they pick up in the New Testament. And then that's pretty much why they think He's the Father and the Son. They don't really know Him. That's why He's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. So the Father says, no gods before me. Now, when you look at each tradition that we keep each holiday, and I mean, it took some time for us to adapt to it, but I had to come to the conclusion that I was going to please my Father, or I want to have family. I could visit my family and make a day for them any day. So it took some time adjusting, but every traditional holiday we keep is rooted. Like you look in the origins of it, like if you even type it over the basic research, it's We're supposed to be doing Passover if we're going to keep something, you know. And so Christianity teaches that the laws were done away with. But guess what? That's why they're a lawless religion. They're lawless without the law.
You know why? Because God says from generation to generation. He didn't say nothing about that going on.
Stop when Jesus died and go back. Right, He did not. He did not. No, He sure did.
But I think that Christianity, I'm going to tell you what I believe. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it was their way because, look, if you stole my heritage, you know, now generation of me gets further and further away. Unless we teach our kids the lesson.
Further removed,
right? They're further removed. But those of them who came over here initially, all that history was still in them. You know, they were out there in the field still talking to, okay, because it was in them. But if they know the truth, and if we are truly the Hebrew or the Israelites, we are here. I believe America was put here for our chastisement because God is not a liar.
He said He's going to send us into slavery.
He said, I'm going to send you in the bellies of ships. In the Old Testament, in Deuteronomy 28:16, He says, in the bellies of ships. Now they took that translation out of many of them. That God made sure we would still be able to know. I don't care how they changed that word.
Right, He still made it right.
Right. So we still will know. It's giving me goosebumps.
Okay.
He said, I'm going to give you remnants. You're going to know. If you seek, if you seek. Right. You got to do your part. I'm not going to just, you can go sit in church and listen to the pastor all day
they're not
long,
going
and you
to tell
take
you
what He give you, and you don't even know if He's
it's just the truth because you haven't checked.
Exactly. But you don't want to. But if you seek it, because I used to be like that. When I started reading that Bible, it became like my history book, and I started believing it. It's our history book. So I said, He put us there for chastisement because He said He's going to send you back to Egypt in the bellies of ships. Satan is
He's crafty, right? Because he learned from the smartest creator, you know, so he's very crafty.
So here comes Christianity. Now they got us out here talking about, now I'm not saying Jesus did not exist, but I still talk to God. I'm not a Christian anymore because I feel like too much emphasis is put on Christianity.
And what He say? Many will come in my name, saying that they are of Him. The Greeks, they have not hundreds, but they have many gods, right? But Apollos, anywhere around the world, guess what his name is? Apollos. Why they gonna put our Savior, who was sent for the house of Israel,
only to the house of Israel, because He said, I come to the house of Israel. He came here, God used Him as the final prophet to come here and tell us for the last time, get your crap together, because this is what's about to happen, and that's where we end up, over here, in chastisement, like He said, and we're going to do this time, like He said, and we still haven't got the covenant, but now we've lost so much of what we're supposed to do traditionally, because
we picked up other ways.
Yes, and that's why we went to Him in the first place, because He ain't said, don't mingle with those people, wipe them out, we thought that was true, but
Every tradition that we pretty much do is rooted in paganism. What they did is slap a little Christ on it, so they know we're not gonna learn it, and mix it in, and then we just pick it up, you know. And people are so stubborn.
You can't tell them the truth because they're so stuck in tradition.
They really are. They really are. Like religion is a strong drug. So I just have to sacrifice, letting go of those things. Even like when I see the kids with Christmas, they don't miss it now. And then all through the year, I'll gift them. And how church is doing Halloween and stuff like the most evil is that, you know? The practice of different gods. He said, don't have nothing to do with that. That's an abomination to him. Those Dias de los Muertos, Halloween, all of it. Even New Year's, our real New Year's in March. Like, and Janus is a god with two heads. That's why we be like, out with the old and in with the new. Every tradition that we keep traditionally is against him. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And I was like, let me just see the roots of, and it's a god that's called Rhea. And then I believe it's another Hindu god. But it's a Mother's Day. Get it? And then it's a Father's Day. I'm like, y'all don't stop.
They don't.
They do not.
It's a deception, but only this is what I believe too. Nothing happens without God's hand in it.
Oh yeah, for
That's
sure,
like he
for sure.
Pharaoh's heart. You see what he's doing with Trump? Same thing. There's no way Trump would get away with doing the stuff that he's doing. God wasn't allowing. He's allowing for it.
That's right. Yeah, because you know this is a trial period for us.
All done, like I said, in God's order.
Yes.
Everything that's done is done for a reason.
Even Satan had to get permission to attack Job. You know, he has to get permission. So we got to know our strength. But people don't want to tear away from these holidays, and you know what? He said, when you don't want to tear away from them, that really automatically proves that you love them. You know what I mean? And love of the world makes you his enemy. That's what that tells you. And I don't want to be his enemy. You know what I mean? So it just took some time for us to adapt.
It's all part of their plan.
It is. Keep us detoured. Okay, loved one, lock the screen.